On the last episode of The Mindset, we were perplexed by the concept of the flashing lights. There was a scuffle, there was a quarrel, there was a blowout. I have made the call, as I said I was going to last week, and I am excited. You want to know why I'm excited? You'll know soon. Hello and welcome onto The Mindset. I am Yetunde Adenike.
On The Mindset with Yetunde Adenike.
I am very excited to have with me on The Mindset Olabisi Sonusi, Sector Public Education Officer of the FRSC. This lady is personally and professionally such an amazing person. I met her many years ago when I was producing the In Transit radio drama series. I remember I walked into her office, no appointment, but as soon as she knew that I had come on matters of road safety, this woman was very nice and receptive to me. Many years later, I called on her again, and once again, she responded. It is my pleasure to have with me on The Mindset this amazing, wonderful, and very dedicated lady in the house. Olabisi Sonusi, you are welcome. I'm so excited. You know, there is this matter that has bugged me. Okay. In fact, it has worried me. And I see that it causes a lot of conflicts on the roads. It's this matter of the flashing lights. You see people quarreling. Some people say, oh, you flashed your light at me. You were asking me to come. Some say, no, I wasn't asking you to come. I was asking you to wait. And I was asking you. And so, you know, last episode, we were trying to wrap our heads around it and we didn't come to a conclusion. But I'm really glad you're here to solve this riddle for us.
Thank you very much. I'm also glad to be here.
So, what is the concept of the flashing light? What does it mean?
It means nothing when it comes to traffic rules and regulation. Some, they will say it's communication, traffic communication. But when it comes to the rules, when you talk about the books, there's nothing like that written anywhere, whether in Nigeria or globally. Just a wrong concept that we have adopted over time. And if you notice also, you would have also witnessed that there have been a lot of crashes as a result of misinterpretation of this same concept, erroneous concept that we had adopted in Nigeria. Well, I would say it's erroneous because it means lots of things to different people, different meanings to it. So what does the rule of when we talk about traffic rules and regulation, what does it say? It says when you're coming from a major road and you have someone coming from an adjoining road, the person who is on the major road has the right to use the road. And once the person who is coming in from an intersection gets in, is to wait. Allow the person complete his movement, then you can have your own right of way. Once we understand this simple traffic rules and regulation, this misconception and all these erroneous things and quarrels won't even exist, especially road rage. Yes. Because this flashing of lights also leads to road rage. Because a lot of people are coming out with different issues. They are coming out with different mindsets. And, you know, FRSC will say, don't allow someone else's wrongdoing cause a crash to you. So there's nothing about you flashing your light and now assuming that the person you're flashing to ought to understand what you are passing to the other person. So there's nothing like that.
Did you see me open my mouth? I cannot believe it. You mean that this thing has no meaning?
Definitely,
at least
not have any.
If somebody is trafficating right, for example, you know the person wants to go right. If the person is trafficating left, you know the person wants to go left. You mean this one, everybody just picks the one that they want.
You know, some drivers also have this concept that I'm flashing you because I don't want to keep honking. I don't want to keep honking. Yeah. But the truth is, when you horn, when you give me that sign on, you also communicate much more better than your flashlight. Because when you horn, is either you are alerting me to tell me that, okay, I want to make this decision, and you are not paying due attention to it. But your flashlight means absolutely nothing.
Can you imagine?
So it's always better for you when you see, as a driver, a motorist, using the road at any point in time, if you see such acts, I would advise, because you're the only sane person at that particular time.
Because you just assume we're the only person that is
you're
sane.
the only sane person and you're the one that can control your action. So just allow such a person, just take the use of the road and you can complete your own process and movement.
You said, that sometimes people think they use it in place of honking. Does that give people, the right and the license to just be horning? Because they will now say, we don't want to flash our lights. We're going to be horning for everything.
In all sane crime, you don't see them honking or using their horn indiscriminately.
Yes.
And so I will also refer to the one day without horn that we had in Lagos. I know you can recall that.
Yes.
And that was because we want a saner environment. So you don't use your horn indiscriminately. But you can use it either to send a signal or a warning to someone you're sharing the road with at any particular time. But we don't have to use it indiscriminately.
Exactly.
But the truth about this, and I'm also happy you're bringing this up, is that there's nothing like you flashing me, and I must understand that this is the action you want to take. It is not globally acceptable. Even in Nigeria, there's no law backing such.
Can you imagine? Because that means that if it has no meaning, I have to be a mind reader to know what you're saying. And since I'm not a mind reader, that means you don't expect me to know what you're saying.
Definitely. So once you see someone now putting such action, just like I said earlier, just assume and just look at the surrounding and that particular time, make your swift decision, either to allow the person just go while you stop, or if you have the right of way, you complete your movement if it is safe. We should also remember that you are sharing the road with people who are potential dangers to you at every point in time when you're on the road. So you must remember to drive defensively. And in doing that, know that someone who is flashing, that is not communicating with you at all. The decision to be safe on the road at that point in time lies on your own decision.
With reference to our drama, so who was right? The man on the man on the main road, or the man that was coming out of the gate?
Okay, just as I said earlier, if you're moving on the road, the main person who has the right of way is the one coming from the major road.
Okay. So in the drama, the man that was coming out of the street should have been the one to wait.
Yes.
Well, I hope people are listening and, they're assimilating all this. Because, sometimes when you go out on the streets of Lagos, I don't know about other people, but sometimes I come back tired and drained. People get angry at the drop of a hat. Everybody is angry. And most of the time, well, let me not say most of the time because I don't have statistics, but a lot of the time, the people who are angry and shouting and yelling and throwing tantrums on the road are in the wrong.
That's why we say a lot of us have, even with the current situation we have in the country, it's enough for anyone who is using the road to be angry and to want to react. So it's always better for you to always move out with the mindset that you don't want to lose your life in a crash as a result of another man's misbehavior.
I was going to ask you before, no horn day
in Lagos.
In Lagos. How did that go? How successful was it?
Funny enough, I remember back then, a lot of us as even traffic officials were on the road to see how effective it was.
Yes.
But to a large extent, yes, we had few people who were not really used to that day. But I must say, it was a huge success. Because you found out that it made a lot of us more comported. We were conscious.
Well, exactly.
And we are all even calmer because it is not, you don't have to threaten me or awaken me with your horn. Because, everyone was, a lot of things were orderly on that day. Because we were outside getting to know how effective it was. But I must say, to a large extent, it was. And I wish such a day will be reintroduced.
Lagos particularly, Lagos, we need that.
Have you ever driven in Ibadan?
No.
Have you ever? So you will know that even Lagos is a bit more fair at when it comes to traffic
Really?
obedience to some large extent. I'm just chipping that in.
So,
I used to say something whenever I'm having a public enlightenment talk to traffic violators. Because you get to a traffic light point and you see that you have people disobey traffic, simple traffic lights that they stop. And I always tell them that when next you're breaking the traffic light and there's no LASMA, there's no FRSC, there's no police, please look up and just ask your conscience that what you're doing, what if it causes a crash?
exactly.
So if we have that mindset, I feel lots of crashes will be avoided in Lagos. So yes, we know it's something that should have flown with us, that now we should have a more saner, horn-free, noiseless environment. But I'm also using this opportunity to also remind us that if we can do it then, we can always do it every day.
Exactly. There was a time that psychiatric evaluation, was recommended for traffic violators. I remember people then were complaining and they want to stigmatize them, they want to label them. I was at the psychiatric hospital around that time, and people would come in and they would grumble, and they don't know why Lagos State sends them this and that. And I would tell them, if everyone is obeying traffic rules and regulations, and you are not, I mean, you have to look at it. That means you are going against societal conduct.
Yes.
And it means that there is something wrong with you. So we need to look at exactly what is your problem. Yes, because exactly, really that is what it means. If you are continuously disobeying traffic rules, then there's something sociopathic about you.
The flow of traffic. In Lagos and also in Abuja, we've introduced that just to be sure that that person actually is not insane.
Because people assume that it's only those who have torn their clothes and are walking the streets that have mental issues. Mental health issues, they come in various forms. They come in various forms, yes. And there are those who function, even though they have certain, mental health issues. Wow. This has been so amazing. I'm very glad. I'm very glad. And I hope that, those who watched the drama and now listen to this can see themselves. I'm sure everyone will be able to see themselves in one of the characters.
Yes.
If it's from the people who spoke to, who said, this means come, this means go. So everybody can recognize themselves, the comers and the goers. And both all of them would now know that
understand more
there is no meaning.
On the Mindset with Yetunde Adenike.
As I said, there's a whole lot of silliness on our roads, especially with commercial bus drivers. But that one is a different kettle of fish. And I think if we start it on this particular episode, we will not finish. I don't know what it is about these commercial bus drivers. I'm glad, as I've heard from you today, that you do education on matters of road safety when they violate. And I'm sure you must catch a lot of them.
We do.
I'm sure. Sometimes when you try to correct them, they will tell you, yeah, go and sit down. What's your business? Are you traffic officer? I'm very glad that today I have traffic officer in the building. So I want you to help me to tell them how to comport themselves on the roads.
Okay, for us, we both have a responsibility. The driver has his own responsibility, and you as a passenger in a commercial vehicle has your own responsibility. And what we've always said is this: if you see something, say something. Don't let that driver who is driving dangerously kill you or end your life before your time. That's why we say if you see something, say something. Because road safety is a shared responsibility. It begins with every one of us. When you take your own part and you do it right, and I also do mine and I do it right, it helps us have a safer road to commute on. So if you're out there, know that as a driver, you are to drive defensively. Strap your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelt. Not because a road safety official is going to arrest you or a policeman or any other traffic officer is going to arrest you, but do it because the law says so and it's for your safety.
Exactly.
Please, if all we have said, you don't get it, know that road crash happens on our road and is always caused by somebody. Please, if you're out there, don't let it be you.
I believe this applies to all
Even
of
the
us.
private,
Yes.
the private drivers,
Yes.
everyone, don't use your phone while you drive. It's a form
Yeah.
of distraction. Let me also add that to it. It's a form of distraction. Don't drive against the flow of traffic. It is dangerous. It kills.
Yes.
And don't speed whenever you're on the road because speed trails, but it kills faster. So please remember that safety starts with you.
I'm very glad that you're here because I know you're very passionate
Thank
about
you.
safety on the roads. And I liked the fact that you rose to the occasion as soon as you knew this had to do with road safety. So I just want to say, continue to do what you're doing. One day they will say, let us do
the
right thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I knew this was going to be a wonderful time, and I have not been disappointed.
Thank you very much. I must say, I appreciate you for this opportunity too.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I said at the beginning of the program that I was excited because I remember the last time, I spoke to you. I learned so many things, and I left the office a better road user.
Thank you
and
very
so
much.
it's my wish and my desire that everyone listening to us today would become a better road user.
I will also be glad. So thank you very much.
If you haven't learned anything from this episode, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This has been an amazing, amazing, amazing learning experience. I want to thank you all for being a part of the Mindset today. I also want to thank my guest, Olabisi Sonusi of the Federal Road Safety Corps, and I am so glad she was here today. Until I come your way on the next episode of The Mindset, I am Yetunde Adenike. Stay blessed.